Well, Mondays are normally the most boring day of the week. But here in Deleted WrestleZone, we intend to keep our Mondays a little bit more exciting and fun for everyone. So today we're going to be reviewing the most recent events, two events by Pro Wrestling Know as we continue with more of the N-1 victory with Day 5 and Day 6. However, their counterparts, All Japan Pro Wrestling, has begun with their annual tournament, which is a single elimination tournament called the Royal Road Tournament. We're going to do Day 2. I haven't seen Day 1, but I'm still debating whether to see this because this one continues on. We'll go from there, see how it goes. And of course, we have some news updates to talk about. Scott Edwards has information about the latest Joshi schedule taking place real soon, and we have plenty other things to talk about in the world of pro wrestling. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is where we review many wrestling promotions from various parts of the world. If you like this channel, please subscribe to us. We'll be getting daily reviews every day, and also some other videos we're definitely going to be liking for. But if you like this episode, please click like, and of course, if you like, leave a comment down below. So let's get started with our very first review. This is day 5 of the N-1 victory by Pro Wrestling Noah. Now, for those who are new to the channel or those who already know what's going on, let me explain what the N-1 victory is all about. The N-1 victory is an annual tournament. It's a point-based system tournament. You win by gaining 2 points, but if you don't win a match, you get 2 points. 0 points, my bad. If you win, 2 points. If you don't win, 0 points. However, if the result of a time limit draw or a double countout, there'll be a draw. Each person will get 2 points. So each points are calculated. It gets a little complicated. The winner of this tournament will get a shot of the GHC Heavyweight Championship, which of course is being held by wrestler Jake Lee. Now let's get started with our first match, a non-tournament N1 match. We have Yu Owada and Taishi Ozawa. They take on Fujimura and Seiki Yoshioka. Now, this is a very interesting matchup. As you know, Owada and Ozawa are in fact the young boys, basically the much less experienced wrestlers. But this ended with, of course, with a PK by Seiki Yoshioka onto Ozawa, giving him and his partner the win. Now we get to the matches involving the N1 victory. Our first one is from the B block. We have Saxon Huxley versus Daiki Inaba. Now, Daiki Inaba recently had a pretty good, impressive match, but now he's facing a wrestler who is much crazy and more predictable, Saxon Huxley. He was able to hang in there until, of course, he applied an inside cradle, which was an easy move for him to pick up a good win. However, Huxley was not happy with the result. However, their points each ended with 4 points. That means they have 2 wins so far. So we'll see how they progress until the very end. Now, our next match is the B block. We have Yuki Yoshioka taking on Adam Brooks. Now, this was a hard-hitting match. Adam Brooks, as you know, he has been on the roll ever since Keno. He defeated Keno, but after that, he's been on a losing streak. You probably would have thought he would have regained that momentum, but however, Yuki Yoshioka applied a flying lariat in order to pick up his next 2 points, so he walks out with 6 points, and then Adam Brooks just with 2 points. Now, our next match is a non N1 victory match. We have the good looking guys, or GLG, consisting of Tadasuke, Yohei, and Anthony Green, to take on Alejandro, Junta Miyawaki, and Naomichi Marufuji. Now, the good looking guys have been the most dominating unit so far ever since Jake Lee formed it. It was Yohei who picked up the win when he applied a drop kick right on the face of Miyawaki to pick up the win. Now our next match is back to the B block of the N1 victory. We have Yuma Anzai taking on Katsuhiko Nakajima. Now, Nakajima, if you guys ever seen the dude is a freaking monster and a beast. Now, he has won back-to-back N1 victory before, but however, he's trying to desperately to catch up, but he did apply a vertical brain buster onto Anzai in order to pick up his next 2 points. So he walks out with 6 points, while Yuma walks away with 2 points. So basically, he's a little bit far behind, but sooner or later, Nakajima has to catch up. Now back to the A block, we have Jack Morris taking on Keno. This is a very interesting matchup for me. I'm a big fan of Keno, who's a badass dude you definitely don't want to mess with. However, it was Jack Morris who picked up the win when he applied like an underhook power bomb, that they call it a driver, to pick up the win. So I was a bit of surprised that ended that way. However, they both walk away with 4 points each with 2 wins. Give me a second. Our next match is a non-tournament match. We have Leona Stallion Rogers and Yoshinari Ogawa. They take on Eita Hayata and Kaito Kiyomiya. I thought this match was pretty good. Now, if you guys remember, Kiyomiya was in fact in the G1 recently, but he did not win. But however, now he's back with Pro Wrestling Noah. Basically, he's not involved in the N1 like he would have wanted, but no, he is not. But he picked up the win for his team when he applied the Shining Wizard onto what? Who was it? On Rogers, and giving him and his team the win. Now our last 2 matches involve the N1 victory. Our first one, we have Lance Anoa'i taking on Go Shiozaki. Now this was a pretty good match. Now Go Shiozaki is one of the top wrestlers and the top champion in Pro Wrestling Noah, so Lance Anoa'i has to pick up the pace on this one. However, he was able to pick up a good victory by pinning him with the Samoan Splash, just like that. So sooner or later, he will be paying attention in Noah. But he walks away with 6 points. Go Shiozaki 4 points. Now our main event is the A block. We have Masa Kitamiya taking on Jake Lee. This was a pretty strong match. I was so surprised how this match was going to be. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but I think this was one of those matches where, of course, Jake Lee, as you know, he's undefeated in the tournament. No one has able to pin him yet, but however, somehow, someway, this match ended in a time limit draw with 30 minutes done, and they both walk away with 1 point each. So in the total, they have 7 points. Now, so far, from my understanding, Jake Lee has not been pinned just yet. So anything could change from here on out. So we'll see what happens until then. So let's move on with day 6 of the N1 victory. Okay, as we continue with more with the N1 victory by Pro Wrestling Noah, where in day 6 this took place on August 20th. Now the previous one we just reviewed is on the 19th, so let's move on with it. Our opening match is we have the Young Boys kicking off the show with the Yu Owada versus Taishi Ozawa. So this is a very interesting matchup. Now, normally the Young Boys are mostly lose, but when they face each other, someone has to walk out with the victory. But it was Ozawa with the drop kick onto Owada to pick up the win. So we'll see more of these guys in the future. Now, our next match is part of the A block. We have Adam Brooks versus Yoshiki Inamura. So, Inamura is currently winless. He has no wins so far, but Adam Brooks so far has already had one win so far in his back pocket, which was the upset against Keno. But he was able to pick up this win when he applied a somewhat version of a trash banner or into the oblivion onto Inamura. So he got his next 2 points. He walks away with just 2 wins with 4 points. Now back to the B block, we have Yuma Anzai taking on Iko de Dr. Wagner Jr. As you know, Dr. Wagner Jr. Wagner is one of the most popular wrestlers that currently people are enjoying, but he was able to walk away with 2 points when he applied the Wagner driver onto Anzai, giving him his next 2 points with 6 points in total with 3 wins. As for Anzai, he only has 4 points with just 2 wins. Now we move on with another non-N1 victory match. We have once again the good-looking guys, GLG, consistent of Tadasuke, Yohei, and Anthony Green. They take on Leona, Stalin Rogers, and Yoshinari Ogawa. Now has become another interesting matchup. Now GLG has been one of the most dominating factions in Noah, but they were able to pick up the win, all thanks to a crucifix by Tadasuke onto Leona. Leona was not happy with the fact that he lost, but it is what it is. Now, our next match, we are back to the N1 matches. We have, for the A block, Timothy Thatcher versus Keno. Now, Keno had to be watching out with a guy like Timothy Thatcher, who is an amazing technical wrestler. He was about to break his arm off, but it was Keno who was able to overturn it when he put up a diving foot stomp, giving him his win. So Keno walks away with 6 points with 3 wins. As for Thatcher, just 2 points. Now back to B block, we have Lance Onoy versus Manabu Soya. This was a very tough match. Also, it was a hoss fight. Basically, two of the biggest, baddest SOBs were facing off each other. But however, only one walked away. But it was Manabu Soya with a jumping DDT to pick up the win. So he walks away with 6 points with 3 wins. And of course, Onoy has the same amount of points, 6 with 3 wins. Now for our non-N1 victory matches, we have Go Shiozaki teaming with Eita Hayata, Kato Kiyomiya to take on Kiyawaki, Alejandro Seki Yoshioka, and Naomichi Marufuji. This is a pretty good match, but however, it was, of course, Go Shiozaki with a lariat onto Miyawaki to pick up the win. So we don't have to worry too much about it. Now our main event is back on the A block. We have Jack Morris versus Jiggly, a showdown between teammates of the good-looking guys, GLG. This was going to be a tough one. Now, for me, if I was a fan, I would think Jiggly would have walked away as the winner, but however, this match ended in a time limit draw with only 30 minutes. So we'll see how things will go in. But however, they walk away with 8 points each. Now keep in mind, this is the second draw that Jake Lee has. So basically, he's currently undefeated, no losses so far. So we'll see how far his progress will go. But for now, let's move on with our next and final review, All Japan Pro Wrestling with Royal Road Tournament. Okay, All Japan Pro Wrestling. We're now in day 2 of the Royal Road Tournament. Now, I haven't seen day 1 just yet. I decided to get this one out of the way as soon as possible. Now, those who are unfamiliarized with the Royal Road, this one is not a single, this is not a point-based system tournament. This is a single elimination tournament. Now, they have their point-based system not too long ago with um, Champion Carnival. Don't remember, I think it was Yuma Yoyagi who won, but back in July he defeated Yuji Nagata to win the Triple Crown Championship. However, the Royal Road does apply. The winner gets a shot of the Triple Crown Championship against Yuma Aoyagi. However, they even allowed in this particular tournament for junior heavyweight competitors to even compete. Maybe they would challenge for the junior heavyweight title, but however, that's how it rolls out. Now let's start with the non-tournament matches involving this. This took place on the 21st in Shinkiba. This is day 2 of the tournament. We have the Evolution, Dan Tamura and Hikaru Sato taking on Ren Ayabe and Shuji Ishikawa. Now, this was a hard-hitting match that you wouldn't imagine, but it was Dan Tamura who picked up the win when he applied a guillotine headlock onto Ishikawa. This was a very good one. I have to say he walked out as a win, but however, there was a moment he did push the ref out of the way because he needed to pick. He wanted to win so bad, so that's how he rolled out. Next match, we have Ryo Onoi teaming up with Yoshi Tatsu to take on members of Voodoo Murders, Toshizo and Rai Sato. Now, you know that Rai Sato is one half of the Glee Tag Team Champions. He was able to pick up the win. It was Toshizo with the win on an armbar onto Inoue to pick up the win. Now we have the Yoshis taking on. We have the Evil Girls, the Evolution Girls taking the stage. We have Chi-Chi and Zones taking on Saki and Unagi Sayaka. Now, recently Unagi has talked to Suwama regarding the Evil Evolution Girls. However, apparently she said some interesting remarks. But of course, Chi-Chi and Zones are not going to tolerate with Unagi's behavior, the way she acts. However, it was Chi-Chi who suffered the fate when she was submitted by Unagi. However, she even called the Evil Girls his women. However, Chi-Chi and Zones took that offensive, so they think that they're having some sort of a relationship with him. But however, that's not the case. But Unagi has her sights set on Sunny, the other member of the Evolution Girls. Remember, there were 3 girls in Evolution. There were originally 7. Only these 3 passed their protest. But however, Sunny looks more like she's now being assessed by Unagi. So that's what she's known for. We will see what happens until then. Now, our next match we have for our last one of the non-tournament matches, we have Yuma Azai teaming up with Eagle Blanc and Rising Hayato to take on Naruki Doi, Naoki Tanazaki, and Hakuto Omori. Now, here's the interesting part. Naruki Doi comes out with the DDT Ironman heavy metal weight title. Now, I'm going to say this right now that this match actually ended with Doi, Tanazaki, and Omori to pick up the win when he, of course, it was Zaku who picked up the win by pinning Eagle Blanc. But however, it appears that they actually targeted the Naruki Doi for the DDT Iron Man heavy metalweight title. So that one I did not expect, but of course Naruki Doi had to leave right away because he knew he was a target no matter what. Now, our first match for the Royal Road tournament, we have for our first round, we have Hayato Tamura taking on Jun Saito. Now, I know that Tamura hasn't forgotten the last time that he had to face one of the Saito brothers. They took the G Infinity Tag Team titles from them. But, of course, I'm sure Tamura got his measure of payback when he applied a lariat onto him, giving him the win. So that's pretty good. Now, our next match, this turned out to be a bit of a squash match. We have Suwama versus, what's his name? Fuminori Abe. Now, Fuminori Abe attacked Suwama. I don't know why, but of course, Suwama took care of his monkey ass when he applied a dropkick onto him, and it was completely done. So, I don't. You probably would say to Funamari, better luck next time. Now, our next match, we have Kento Miyahara taking on Atsuki Aoyagi. Now, Atsuki Aoyagi used to be a member of his unit known as Next Realm. Um, However, things have changed. Um, if you guys must know, Atsuki is a junior heavyweight competitor, but it was, of course, Miyahara with a German suplex that picked up the win. So, basically, that's how it ends right there. Now, our main event features Ryuki Honda versus Yuma Aoyagi, who is the Triple Crown champion. I have to say, this one was a big upset. It was Honda who pinned Aoyagi. Hopefully, he'll get a title shot for the Triple Crown Championship. But however, um, Honda has one person he needs to contend, and that person is none other than Kiyahara. So basically, be seeing him soon enough. And I think that's pretty much it what we have for All Japan. So let's move on with news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So this is what we have. As you know, this weekend, I believe we have the NWA 75, the annual show, which is their version of WrestleMania that will take place. However, another talent has been announced for the Burke Invitational Gauntlet match. Now, those who don't know what the Burke is the title of the NWA Women's title, which is currently being held by none other than Camille. So the next participant to involve themselves in this one is Ruthie J. So we'll be seeing her more often in that show. Now, Fightful Select reports that AEW are considering potentially bringing Mariah May into the company. Now, as you know, Mariah May has been killing it in Stardom, particularly participating. So I say this is a good thing for them. However, we will see hearing more if there's any indications that Mariah May does have an interest to wrestle in AEW. So we'll see where that goes. Now, our final thing is, of course, Scott Edwards, who is working with Voice Wrestling, Fightful Select, and various others. This is what he put out. He announced for the next 2 weeks for the Joshi schedule. On Friday, which is this week, Seedling has their match. We have Arisa Nakajima putting this Beyond the Sea title match against Sarai, or better known as Sarai. They also got a tag match involving Ryo Mizunami and Miyuki Takase to take on Yu and Lady Destroyer Hiroyo Matsumoto. Then the following day, on the 26th, we have Stardom. I believe we're continuing with more of the 5-star Grand Prix. We have Julia versus Mirai. Then we have Utami Ayashida versus Maika, and then of course we have Tam Nakano. However, on that very same day, we have Ice Ribbon. Yuri will be defending the Ice Infinity title against Ibuki Hoshi. Now, Hoshi has challenged for this belt recently during a Gambari Yoshi event, so we'll see about that. Now, the following day, the 27th of Stardom, we have Natsupoi taking on Natsuko Tora, Ami Sori taking on Starlight Kid, Saruya Onoi versus Hanan, and then Momo Watanabe versus Mariah May. Then we have Sendai Girls. That will take place on Saturday, the 2nd of September. We have Team 200 kilogram consistent of Yu and Shihiro Hashimoto taking on Reiwa Ultimate consistent of Dash and Hiroyo Matsumoto. Then we have Miyuki Takase and of course Mika Owada taking on Kairi and Asuka, better known as Veni. Then we have Aja Kong, Ryu Mizunami, and Lina Cross taking on Sarai, better known as Sarai, Sario Inoi, and Chi Chi. And then finally we have Yurika Oka taking on Matsupoi. Now, Stardom continues with more of their 5-star on that very same day on the 2nd of September with Julia versus Momo Watanabe, Mina Shirakawa versus Azumi, then we have Utami Ashida versus Mariah May. Now, we do get the full card taking place for the Hiroshima special on the 3rd of September. We have the Wonder of Stardom. Mirai defends her title against her own teammate Konami. The New Japan's Strong Wrestling Championship is now official. Originally, I announced that there was a challenge that was put out by Risa Sera from Prominence, and now it's official. So Julia will defend her title against Risa Sera in her home turf in Hiroshima. Now, the Goddesses of Stardom, the tag titles, newly crowned Saruyo Noi and Natsupoi will defend these titles against Suzuki and Mei Sita. The high-speed title will be defended. Saki Kashima will be taking on Momokogo. Now, 2 matches have announced for the Red Star block for the 5-star Grand Prix. We have Mayu Iwatani and Suri, and then we have Tam Nakano versus Starlight Kid. And as for the Blue Star, we have Utami Ayashida and Momo Watanabe. Now, that's going to be an interesting matchup. We do have other matches like Tekla, Micah Megan Bain taking on Mina Shirakawa, Mariah May, and Hanako. Then we have Azumi, Lady C, and Miyu Amasaki taking on Azuki, Koguma, and Hana. And then finally, Ami Sori taking on Yuna Mizumori. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup to follow. Scott Edwards even talked about some wrestlers that he feels are prospects, like wrestlers that seems like they're the ones we need to pay attention, even if they're new. He recently talked about that their prospects over the next 2 years will be Chi-Chi from 8 Evolution Girls, Kizuna Tanaka, many others debuting like Kohaku and Mei Sira, and he even talked about the at-risk girls showcasing an excitement crew. So we're going to be seeing some things like that taking place, but we don't know when it's going to happen more. So I think that's pretty much it what we have. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. Coming up, we have Tuesday Wrestling, so I'm pretty presume we're going to have NWA Power and NXT. I haven't decided yet if there's going to be any other shows. I do know that New Blood 10 is out. Haven't seen certain shows. I definitely want to see the GCW stuff, but I may do that some other time. But we'll see how the next episode goes. But for now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.